Have you ever looked at a photograph and thought, there's no way that's a real place? Across our planet are landscapes so extraordinary that they seem like scenes from fantasy movies or digital artwork. Rivers glow with impossible colors. Forests disappear beneath mysterious fog. Towering cliffs plunge into emerald waters, while beaches become home to animals you would never expect to find there. These aren't special effects or AI-generated images. They're real destinations, shaped by millions of years of geology, climate, and evolution. Today, we're counting down 7 of the most breathtaking natural wonders on Earth. Places so spectacular that seeing them with your own eyes might completely change the way you look at our planet. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another incredible journey into the world's greatest mysteries and natural wonders. Now, let's begin. Number 7. Verdon Gorge, France. Hidden in southeastern France lies a canyon so breathtaking that it's often called the Grand Canyon of Europe. Stretching for nearly 16 miles, Verdon Gorge cuts dramatically through towering limestone cliffs that rise as much as 2,300 feet above the brilliant turquoise waters of the Verdon River. From above, the canyon resembles a giant crack carved into the earth, exposing millions of years of geological history layer by layer. What makes this place truly unforgettable is the incredible contrast of colors. The pale white cliffs reflect the sunlight, while the river below glows in shades of emerald and sapphire, creating scenery that almost looks digitally enhanced. From scenic overlooks high above the canyon, visitors can appreciate its immense scale. But the real adventure begins on the water. Kayakers and paddleboaters drift quietly through the narrow passages beneath vertical rock walls, surrounded by cliffs that seem to stretch endlessly toward the sky. Every bend reveals another spectacular viewpoint, making the journey feel like traveling through a natural cathedral, sculpted entirely by time. For rock climbers, Verdon Gorge is considered one of the world's premier destinations, offering thousands of climbing routes across its towering limestone faces. Hikers can also follow panoramic trails that hug the canyon rim, providing unforgettable views around nearly every corner. Despite welcoming visitors from around the globe each year, Verdon Gorge has managed to preserve its wild character. There are no towering hotels dominating the landscape, only peaceful villages, winding mountain roads, and one of Europe's most extraordinary geological masterpieces. Standing at the edge of this immense canyon, watching sunlight dance across the crystal-clear river below, it's easy to understand why so many travelers consider Verdon Gorge one of the most beautiful places on Earth. Number 6. Boulders Beach, South Africa. Most people associate penguins with icy Antarctica. That's why arriving at Boulders Beach feels almost impossible to believe. Located near Cape Town, this peaceful stretch of coastline is famous for something incredibly unexpected: a thriving colony of African penguins living among warm sunshine, white sand, and enormous granite boulders. The story began in the early 1980s, when only a few breeding pairs settled here. Decades later, the colony has grown into one of the largest and most important protected populations of African penguins anywhere in the world. Unlike many wildlife destinations where animals remain far away, Boulders Beach offers remarkably close encounters. Visitors walking along elevated boardwalks can watch penguins waddling across the sand, calling to one another, caring for their chicks, or diving gracefully into the turquoise ocean just a few feet away. Watching these charming birds shuffle awkwardly across the beach before transforming into agile underwater swimmers is both entertaining and fascinating. The giant granite boulders scattered across the shoreline create sheltered coves with calm, crystal-clear water, making the beach feel almost like a hidden tropical paradise rather than a traditional penguin habitat. This unusual combination of African sunshine, brilliant blue ocean, smooth ancient rocks, and thousands of charismatic penguins creates a scene unlike anywhere else on Earth. Yet Boulders Beach is more than just a beautiful destination. The African penguin population has declined dramatically over recent decades due to overfishing, pollution, and habitat loss. Protected areas like this have become increasingly important for the species' survival. Every visitor who comes here not only experiences one of nature's most delightful spectacles, but also gains a deeper appreciation for the conservation efforts helping these remarkable birds continue to thrive. It's one of those rare places where breathtaking scenery and unforgettable wildlife come together to create an experience you'll remember long after you've left. Number 5. Cala Goloritzé, Italy. Some beaches impress you with luxury resorts or endless stretches of sand. Cala Goloritzé does something entirely different. Hidden along the rugged eastern coastline of the Italian island of Sardinia, this secluded cove feels like a place that nature intentionally kept secret. Surrounded by towering limestone cliffs and washed by unbelievably clear turquoise water, it looks more like a scene from a dream than a destination you can actually visit. Unlike many famous beaches around the world, reaching Cala Goloritzé isn't easy, and that's exactly what makes it so special. There are no roads leading directly to the shoreline. Most visitors either hike for nearly an hour along rocky mountain trails or arrive by boat, stopping offshore before swimming the final distance to the beach. That extra effort helps preserve the untouched beauty that has made this cove one of the Mediterranean's greatest treasures. As you approach, the first thing you'll notice is the extraordinary clarity of the sea. The water is so transparent that boats appear to float in midair, while every pebble beneath the surface remains perfectly visible. Shades of emerald, sapphire, and brilliant turquoise shift constantly as sunlight dances across the gentle waves. Behind the beach rises an enormous limestone pinnacle, standing nearly 470 feet, or about 143 meters tall. Known as the Aguglia di Goloritzé, this dramatic rock tower has become one of Europe's most iconic climbing destinations. Nearby, a naturally formed stone arch stretches gracefully toward the sea, completing a landscape that feels almost artistically designed. Yet despite its breathtaking appearance, Cala Goloritzé is a remarkably young natural wonder. The cove was created in 1962 after a massive landslide reshaped this section of coastline. In just a few decades, nature transformed what was once a collapsed cliff into one of Italy's most spectacular beaches. Today, strict conservation measures protect the area. Visitor numbers are carefully managed, motorboats are prohibited from approaching the shoreline, and much of the surrounding landscape remains completely untouched. That sense of isolation is what makes every visit unforgettable. Instead of crowded boardwalks and noisy beach clubs, you'll hear little more than waves gently washing over smooth white pebbles, seabirds soaring overhead, and the occasional echo drifting down from the surrounding cliffs. Standing here, with towering rock walls surrounding crystal-clear water in every direction, it's easy to understand why so many travelers describe Cala Goloritzé as one of the most beautiful hidden beaches anywhere on Earth. Number 4. Fanal Forest, Portugal. If enchanted forests really existed, they would probably look exactly like this. High on the Portuguese island of Madeira lies Fanal Forest, a place where ancient trees disappear into swirling fog and every winding path seems to lead deeper into another world. Unlike ordinary forests filled with straight trunks and bright sunshine, Fanal feels timeless. Its centuries-old laurel trees twist into strange, sculptural shapes after enduring countless Atlantic storms. Thick blankets of emerald moss cover their trunks and branches, while soft lichens cling to nearly every surface, giving the entire forest an appearance that feels both ancient and alive. Then comes the fog. Moist air rolling in from the Atlantic Ocean frequently blankets the landscape in dense white mist. Within minutes, familiar trails vanish, distant trees fade into ghostly silhouettes, and sunlight filters softly through the haze, creating an atmosphere that seems lifted straight from the pages of a fantasy novel. It's no surprise that photographers travel from around the world hoping to capture these unforgettable scenes. Every hour brings a completely different mood. Sometimes the forest glows beneath golden morning light. Other times it becomes mysterious and silent, with only drifting clouds moving between the trees. No matter the weather, Fanal always feels as though it's hiding countless stories waiting to be discovered. What makes this forest even more extraordinary is its remarkable history. Fanal forms part of the ancient Laurisilva forest, a subtropical woodland that once covered vast areas of southern Europe millions of years ago. While most of those forests disappeared long ago because of climate change and human activity, Madeira preserved one of the finest surviving examples anywhere in the world. Today, this unique ecosystem is recognized as one of the island's greatest natural treasures, protecting hundreds of rare plant and animal species found nowhere else. Walking through Fanal isn't about chasing dramatic viewpoints or towering waterfalls. Instead, its magic lies in something much quieter. It's the feeling of wandering through a living landscape that has remained almost unchanged for millions of years. A place where every twisted branch, every drifting cloud, and every ancient tree reminds us that nature often creates its greatest masterpieces, not with spectacle, but with patience. For many visitors, leaving Fanal Forest feels like waking from an unforgettable dream, one that continues to linger long after the mist has disappeared behind the mountains. Number 3. Racetrack Playa, United States. Imagine standing in the middle of one of the driest places on Earth and discovering something that seems to defy the laws of physics. Across the cracked desert floor, enormous rocks sit alone in complete silence. But behind many of them are long, winding trails etched into the dry clay, as though the stones had somehow come to life and wandered across the landscape by themselves. Welcome to Racetrack Playa, one of the most mysterious locations in Death Valley National Park. For decades, this remote dry lakebed puzzled scientists and visitors alike. Some believed powerful magnetic fields were responsible. Others blamed hidden underground forces, while more imaginative theories suggested everything from supernatural activity to extraterrestrial visitors. The mystery persisted because no one had ever actually witnessed the rocks moving. Some of these stones weigh well over 500 pounds, yet they appeared to glide across the desert, changing direction unexpectedly and leaving tracks stretching hundreds of feet behind them. Standing alone on the vast desert floor, surrounded by endless mountains and mysterious stone trails disappearing toward the horizon, it's easy to understand why Racetrack Playa still feels like one of Earth's greatest unsolved wonders, even after science revealed its secret. Number 2. Hengifoss. Iceland towering above a dramatic canyon in eastern Iceland, Hengifoss is one of those rare places that looks more like another planet than part of our own. At nearly 420 feet, or 128 meters tall, it ranks among Iceland's highest waterfalls. Yet its height is only part of what makes it unforgettable. What truly captures your attention is the cliff behind the cascading water. Dark volcanic basalt is interrupted by vivid horizontal bands of deep red clay, creating striking layers that resemble giant brushstrokes painted across the mountainside. The contrast is so unusual that many first-time visitors compare the landscape to the surface of Mars. These colorful layers were formed millions of years ago through repeated volcanic eruptions and ancient sediment deposits, preserving a remarkable record of Iceland's geological past. The waterfall plunges gracefully over the colorful cliffs before crashing onto dark volcanic rocks below, sending a cool mist drifting through the canyon. Each season transforms the scenery in a different way. During summer, patches of vibrant green soften the rugged landscape beneath endless daylight. In autumn, golden grasses add warmth to the rocky valley. Winter blankets everything in snow and ice, turning the waterfall into a frozen sculpture, while spring fills the river with roaring glacial meltwater. No matter when you arrive, Hengifoss offers more than simply a beautiful photograph. It tells the story of Iceland itself, a land built by fire, carved by ice, and constantly reshaped by the powerful forces of nature. Standing before those towering cliffs, watching water tumble past rocks that have recorded millions of years of Earth's history, you can't help but feel both humbled and inspired by the incredible planet we call home. Number 1. Caño Cristales, Colombia. What if a river didn't flow in just one color, but in 5? Hidden deep within Colombia's Serranía de la Macarena National Park lies a river so extraordinary that many travelers describe it as the most beautiful river on Earth. Its name is Caño Cristales, though it's often known simply as the River of 5 Colors. At first glance, the water appears almost unreal. Brilliant shades of crimson, gold, emerald green, sapphire blue, and deep black weave together beneath the crystal-clear surface, creating the illusion of a living rainbow stretching through the heart of the wilderness. It looks less like a river and more like a masterpiece painted by nature itself. But unlike artificial color or mineral-rich waters, this breathtaking display is entirely natural. The secret lies in a rare aquatic plant called Macarenia clavigera, found almost nowhere else on Earth. During the rainy season, When water levels and sunlight reach the perfect balance, these plants burst into vivid shades of red beneath the clear water. Combined with golden sand, green algae, dark rock formations, and the reflection of the blue sky, the river transforms into a spectacular mosaic of color. Timing is everything. Visit during the dry season, and the river appears peaceful but relatively ordinary. Arrive between late June and November, however, and the landscape explodes into one of nature's greatest visual performances. As sunlight shifts throughout the day, the colors seem to change before your eyes. Every pool, waterfall, and rocky channel reveals a different combination of vibrant hues, making no two views exactly alike. Yet Caño Cristales is remarkable for more than its appearance. Unlike most rivers, it contains very few large fish because its rocky riverbed provides little sediment or food for aquatic life. Instead, the water remains astonishingly pure and transparent, allowing visitors to see every colorful detail beneath the surface with incredible clarity. For many years, very few people had the opportunity to witness this hidden treasure. The surrounding region was largely inaccessible due to decades of armed conflict, leaving the river isolated from mass tourism. Ironically, that long period of protection helped preserve its fragile ecosystem, allowing its beauty to remain almost untouched. Today, visitor numbers are carefully regulated to protect this extraordinary environment for future generations. Wooden walkways guide travelers through sensitive areas, swimming is permitted only in designated locations, and strict conservation rules ensure that the delicate aquatic plants remain unharmed. The result is an experience that feels wonderfully authentic. There are no giant resorts, crowded promenades, or commercial attractions competing for attention. Instead, there is only the quiet sound of flowing water, tropical birds calling from the surrounding rainforest, and a river unlike any other on Earth. Standing beside Caño Cristales, it's easy to understand why so many people struggle to believe the photographs are real. Some places amaze us because of their size, others because of their history. But this river captivates us simply because it proves that nature's imagination is far greater than our own. It is a reminder that even in a world mapped by satellites and explored by millions, there are still places capable of leaving us completely speechless. From the towering limestone walls of Verdon Gorge to the playful African penguins of Boulders Beach, from the hidden paradise of Cala Goloritzé to the mist-covered silence of Fanal Forest, from the mysterious moving stones of Racetrack Playa and the dramatic volcanic cliffs of Hengifoss to the breathtaking colors of Caño Cristales. These 7 incredible destinations remind us that our planet is filled with wonders that often seem too extraordinary to be real. Some were shaped by volcanic eruptions, others by glaciers, rivers, wind, or millions of years of slow geological change. Each one tells a different story, but together they reveal something truly remarkable, that Earth remains the greatest artist of all. So, which of these natural wonders would you most love to visit? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your choice. And if you enjoyed traveling with us today, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another journey to the world's most incredible places. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next adventure.